Debbie's going to just say a few words about our artist today, and I'll just let her take it from here.
Thank you, Tom. First of all, I want to ask a question. Do we need a microphone? Yes. Oh, okay. All right, fine. I'll do the microphone. I don't have anything planned or scripted. I just really don't. And everybody who knows me knows that's how I roll. So we are going to bring out our special guest. And we also have multiple special guests. And I did have to write this down because there's so many accolades. But I would just like to have Deepak Chopra with us here as introduced, and Eddie Stern, and also the founder of the Chopra Global, a whole health company at the intersection of science and spirituality. He is a world-renowned pioneer for integrated medicine and personal transformation. Deepak is a clinical professor of family medicine and public health at the University of California, San Diego, which I didn't know, and serves as a senior scientist with Gallup organization. He is the author of 91 books now, right? Because I think it said 90, over 90, translated into over 43 languages, including numerous New York Times bestsellers. And he is on the forefront, and has always been on the forefront of meditation revolution for the last 30 years. And he is now the author of Digital Dharma, which everybody will receive. And he has been described as one of the top 100 heroes and icons of the century. And he is here with us now in this small gathering. So it's very, very special to me, and I hope to our community. So I believe we're doing
a few things.
First. So this is Eddie Stern, and I'm going to read about Eddie Stern.
Where are you reading this?
Eddie Stern is a renowned yoga teacher and author known for his deep expertise in Ashtanga yoga. We have his book on the coffee table inside. And he is the founder of Ashtanga Yoga New York and the Brooklyn Yoga Club. Make sure I'm getting this all right. And he is the co-creator of the breathing app. It's amazing. If anybody, if you ever want to download it, it's fantastic. And it promotes the health benefits of conscious breathing. And he is a speaker, and he brings mindfulness and yoga to broader audiences all over the world. And he is also our special guest here, who will be doing breath experience, not breath work, which I'm learning. I've been learning for the past year. Conan's been teaching me a lot. So Eddie's going to be doing a breath experience, while Conan, who I will introduce, who's our Director of Spiritual Wellness here at Loopwell. She's also a licensed therapist, a certified yoga instructor, and has been an advisor and friend to me for helping me build this. So I really appreciate it. If I've missed anything, Nothing. Okay. So Conan and Eddie are going to lead us into this amazing experience before we have a guided meditation with Deepak. So.
Okay, so good afternoon. I believe we'll start. Conan and I will chant a little something, and then I'll lead you through a very short breathing practice. And then Conan will play some singing bowls, and then Deepak Ji will guide us through meditation and a talk. Okay? So please feel free to chant along if you are familiar. Do you need a microphone, Conan? Okay, here we go. Thank you. Okay, you can sit comfortably straight and close the eyes if you would like to. If you want to keep them open, no problem. And bring the awareness to the flow of your breath in and out of your nostrils for a moment. And then we'll inhale and we'll chant Om together. Kanan, why don't we do call and response? Okay, so you guys can repeat after us. Asatoma. And just the first part. Let's try again. You say after we say the first part. Asatoma. Sadgamaya. Tamasoma. Jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma. Amritam gamaya. And now we'll say Om and Shanti 3 times, and then you'll repeat it back. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now you. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Breathing in slowly and breathing out slowly. And so I know everyone just had lunch, so we won't do any big or deep breathing practices, but you've been breathing, I think, since you had lunch, so it's okay for us to continue breathing now. Good, thank you for acknowledging that. So, you can rest your hands gently on your belly and rest on your chair. We're going to do some breathing with vocalization first. So the first thing we'll do is inhale and feel the belly rise a little. Then we're going to open our mouths and we're going to chant the sound of ah together. So inhale and feel the belly rise. And then we'll just go ah. And a relaxed breath in. And a relaxed breath out. All through the nose. And now we'll chant the sound of oo. Inhale, please. Feel the belly rise a little. Ooh. Notice how the belly comes in when you exhale. And now relax and breathe in through the nose. And breathe out through the nose. And now we're just going to hum the sound of like a bumblebee. Inhale, feel the belly rise a little. And we'll go Relax as you breathe in. And a relaxed breath out. Now we're going to do that one more time, where one time we chant, and then one time we mentally repeat the sound without chanting out loud. So we'll inhale towards the belly. And now inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose and mentally repeat ah. And breathe into the belly. We'll do the same with oo. Breathe in through the nose. And out through the nose, mentally repeating oo. And then inhale, we'll do the same with the sound of inhaling. Through the nose, breathe in. And mentally repeat the humming sound. Feel it vibrating in your brain quietly. And now relax the breathing just a little. Relax your posture a little. And bring your awareness high in your nasal cavity, near your sense of smell. And notice any smell around you, maybe the scent of the aromatic oils that are in this space. Maybe you smell some lemon or lemongrass. And if you don't smell anything in the nose, you can imagine the scent of a rose or of lavender or sage or anything that you like. And direct the air right towards the olfactory nerves. Don't breathe in too deep, just breathe slow. And when you exhale, try to keep your awareness also near the olfactory nerves. Notice the sensation of the breath as it comes in. Maybe it's a little bit cool as it comes in the nostrils and a little warm as it leaves. And then very lightly you can begin to lengthen your breath as though you are savoring or enjoying the flow of the breath in your nostrils. And if you notice some scent around you, or you're imagining a rose or lavender or anything, feel that you're savoring that smell in your nostrils as you breathe in. And then slowing the breath as you breathe out. The hands can be relaxed on the knees if you like, or in the lap, with the palms facing up in a gesture of receptivity. And then just for a couple of minutes, you'll keep your awareness resting at the touch of the breath near the olfactory nerves, the sense of smell, and the gentle lengthening of the breath as you breathe out. Very gentle, nothing extreme. And then with the eyes closed, with this gentle breathing rhythm, Kanan will begin to play some sounds for us to breathe along with. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Please rub your palms together, making your hands a little bit warm. Press the warm palms gently over your face and over the eyes. And pull the hands a little away from your face and gaze into your open palms. Opening your eyes and emerging back into the Loopwell space. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Deepak Chopra.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you. Thanks, everyone, for being here. So, after that beautiful experience, let me share some thoughts with you and then we'll do a meditation. So, first, sharing some thoughts. Okay. If you go online these days and you ask the following question, what are the 125 open questions in science? Then the first open question that you'll see, and this list gets published periodically in science journals. The first open question in science is, what is the universe made of? And the second open question in science is, what's the biological basis of consciousness? So what I want to share with you is that these questions will never be answered because they're the wrong questions. If you start with the wrong question, you can't get an answer. So at this moment, science is stuck in the basic foundational questions about existence. So just go over the scientific model right now. 70% of the universe is a non-atomic energy that is expanding the universe faster than the speed of light. So from where we are sitting right now, the cosmic horizon is 47 billion light years away from us. And by the time light reaches from there to here, our solar system will no longer exist. It will have burnt itself up into the heat death of absolute zero. So whatever dark energy, it's probably unknowable, not unknown, unknowable, because we are made of atoms. But so science says, but we can only interact with atoms through the agency of light, photons. So that leaves only 30% of the universe, which is remaining. Of that, 27% is another mysterious entity called dark matter, which is the opposite of dark energy. It is responsible for most of the gravity in the universe. So if dark matter didn't exist, then planets would spiral off and disappear into intergalactic space, and you and I wouldn't be here. So that leaves 3% of atomic matter, of which 99.9999% is invisible interstellar dust. So the visible universe, which is 2 trillion galaxies, 700 sextillion stars, uncountable trillions of planets, and according to the latest science, with all these telescopes floating there, 60 billion habitable planets just in the Milky Way galaxy. The visible universe, which means trillions of uncountable trillions of planets, and habitable in the way we think habitation occurs, life forms like you and me, based on something called the Goldilocks zone, that's 0.01% of the universe. But atoms are made of particles, and particles are schizophrenic. When you're looking at them, they appear as bits of matter with units of mass and energy. And when you're not looking at them, they disappear into waves which have no location in space-time. So what's the universe made of? According to science, it's made of nothing, which then leads to the second conundrum. If it's made of nothing, why does it look like this experience that we're having? You heard those sound bowls. There's no sound in your brain. Okay, so where is that sound? Then Eddie asked you to imagine a sound, and you heard an imaginary sound, and that too is not in your brain. So nothing that we call experience, sound, or you're looking at this room, look at this room, look at each other, look at this microphone. There's no picture of this in your brain. In fact, nothing you experience is to be found in the physical world. Nothing that you experience is to be found in the physical world. Okay? Where is it? Where is this sound that you're hearing? You're looking at Deepak. Where is Deepak's image in you? Where is the experience of seeing happening? Where is the experience, even though Eddie said focus on the nostrils, the optic nerve, etc. But all that does is send electrical signals to your brain. So where's the experience of smell, or sound, or color, or shape, or form? Can't be found. That's called the hard problem of consciousness. So, what's the solution? Science is stuck in this model, even though science is very successful in creating technology. You know, today when you surf the internet, when you send email or look at Instagram, anything that you do, it's based on a very fundamental principle in science, which scientists are confused about. Everything we do is based on the fundamental principle that the physical world is not physical. Okay, the mental world is not physical, but nor is the physical world. You know, and our senses totally deceive us. Okay, everything that you see is a magical lie. Everything that you see is a magical lie. The earth appears flat, but we know it's not. Okay, the ground you're sitting on appears to be stationary. It's spinning at dizzying speeds and hurtling through space thousands of miles an hour. Everything seems solid, and it's proportionately as void as intergalactic space. So don't believe anything that you see. Anything. If you see it, it's not real. Okay? But even further, if you can think about it and conceptualize it and imagine it, it's not real. It's not real. And this is a very basic fundamental principle, by the way, in Vedanta and Kashmir Shaivism and many Eastern philosophies, that the world you see is Maya. Maya means illusion, the mother of illusion, the goddess of illusion. But Maya is also related to words like matrix, matter, time, meter, measurement, music, myth, mata, matrika, mother. These are all words that try to capture the inconceivable and the imperceivable. So whatever reality is, it's incomprehensible. It's not conceivable or perceivable. And since we are part of reality, the real you is neither conceivable nor perceivable. So don't try to figure it out, okay? Because it's incomprehensible. But meditation can give us an idea of how we project the universe, the matrix, the physical universe, which we call Maya. These days they call it simulation or VR. Same thing, VR. We are already in a VR experience. So when you use VR, as we are now beginning to, you'll be able to treat medical conditions because your body is a VR and the VR only extends the VR, so your body can respond to it. So soon, in the next 5-6 years, I hope you will not be receiving pharmaceuticals, but VR sessions for things like everything: inflammation, eating disorders, anorexia, autism, chronic disease. Go for a VR session because you're already part of the VR. That's Maya. And then, of course, what we experience as the play is called Leela. Leela means play, not game. In a game, you try to win. The Yankees versus the whatever. Okay? But in play, you just play for the fun of it. Okay? So the universe is the creative play of consciousness. So there's only two principles. Reality is nothing conceivable or perceivable, but we can give it a name. And the name is awareness or consciousness. We can give it a name. Although you say, where is consciousness? Then you're stuck again, because nobody can find a location for consciousness. The reason you can't find a location for consciousness is it's invisible. It doesn't have a form. And because it doesn't have a form, it's infinite. It doesn't have borders. And it's not in space-time. In fact, what we call space-time, the theater of space-time and causality, is an appearance in consciousness. So again, Sanskrit words are good for this because the source of all experience, consciousness, is called Brahman, and the appearance is called Brahmand. But it's a changing appearance. And Atman, which is you, and Brahman are one. So whether you'd like it or not, you are the creator of the universe. And you don't know how you did it, but you definitely created the universe. All these stars, galaxies, they're not real. They're just modes of knowing and perception, sensations, sense perceptions, images, feelings, thoughts. So summarize, you and the world and the universe are consciousness, period. And that consciousness is incomprehensible, irreducible, fundamental, borderless, infinite, spaceless, timeless, cannot be imagined or conceived. But now let's do the meditation. Okay. So please close your eyes. I think the only one who's going to really get it is this one. Okay? You'll get it. Okay. So with your eyes closed, observe your breath first. So breath is the most primordial of all sensations. We enter this world of illusion with the breath, and we leave it with the breath. If you do vipassana on breath, it gives you the secrets of the universe. We all share the same breath. But we also share the same molecules. When Eddie said, inhale the molecules of these vaporous substances, they're actually molecules. So we share the same body. In the deeper reality, the same breath, the same body. Breath is impermanent. It arises, it's there, then it disappears. Only to arise and be experienced and disappear again. So by observing the breath, you notice that everything is impermanent, because everything is a sensation. Whether it's sound or odor or color or form, all impermanent. If you hold on to your breath, you'll suffocate. Same thing with any experience, if you hold on to it, you'll suffocate. All human suffering is the result of holding on to something that is ungraspable. Keep trying to grasp it and you'll suffer. So just let go and flow. All suffering is resistance to existence, which is an arising and a subsiding. And now bring your awareness to your heart in the middle of your chest. Try and feel your heartbeat, if you can, or just pretend that you can. And mentally ask yourself, what am I? Not who am I, but what am I? Don't try to answer the question, just stay with the question. What am I? Without trying to answer it. Let's go deeper into this question. Am I the changing body, or am I the awareness in which the body is a changing experience? Am I the changing body, or am I the awareness in which, or consciousness, same thing, am I the awareness, the consciousness in which the body is a changing experience? Again, don't try to answer it, but see what comes up. Any sensation, any image, any feeling, any thought. Am I the changing body, or am I the awareness? If I'm the changing body, which one? Fertilized egg, zygote, embryo, baby, toddler, teenager, which one is my body? See any insight that spontaneously comes to you without trying. And then you can repeat the question, what am I? And now let's go a little bit deeper into this inquiry. It's called Atma Vichar. Ask yourself, am I the changing mind? Or am I the awareness in which the mind is a changing experience? If I'm the changing mind, which one? Today's mind, yesterday's mind, teenager's mind, baby mind. Am I the mind, or am I the awareness in which the mind is a changing experience? Go a little further. Am I the evolving personality, what people call a person? Or am I the awareness in which even that which we call a person is a changing process? What am I? What am I? Let's move to the second reflection. Keeping your awareness in your heart, ask yourself, what do I want? What is my deepest desire? Again, not trying to answer it, but just being open to any sensation, any image, any feeling, any thought. What do I want? What is my deepest desire? What do I want? Third question, what is my purpose? Why do I do what I do? What is my purpose? Again, not trying to answer it, but just being open to any sensation, any image, any feeling, any thought. What is my purpose? And fourth and final question, what am I grateful for? Notwithstanding all the problems in the world, all the problems in our lives, what am I grateful for? Allowing any sensation, any image, any feeling, any thought to spontaneously arise and subside. What am I grateful for? Okay, so now let's move to another phase of our meditation. So now just become aware of sound, any sound that we're experiencing currently, including the sound of my voice, but any sound. Notice that sound is also like breath. It arises, you experience it, and then it's gone. You can't hold on to the experience, which we call sound. So as you experience sound, just remind yourself, I'm the awareness in which sounds arise and subside. I am the awareness in which sounds arise and subside. Now, move your awareness to sensations in your body. So feel the sensations in your body from inside out. Feel the sensation of your skin against your clothes. Feel the sensation of your buttocks touching the ground. And just like sounds and breath, sensations arise and subside. So just remind yourself, I am the awareness in which sensations arise and subside. Generate some colors and some forms in your consciousness now. So imagine a red sunset on the ocean. Imagine snow-clad mountains, red roses, rainbow, the Empire State Building, the Statue of Liberty. So notice that these colors and forms arise and subside. They flicker in and out, ungraspable. And so remind yourself, I am the awareness in which forms appear, colors appear, and then they disappear. Just like the breath. I am the awareness in which forms arise and subside. Generate some saliva in your mouth and taste it. Taste the back of your teeth and the roof of your mouth. Remind yourself, I am the awareness in which flavors arise and subside. And once again, bring your awareness to your nostrils the way Eddie asked us to do. Be aware of any fragrances or odors. And remind yourself, I am the awareness in which fragrances, smells, odors arise and subside. Now let's generate an emotion. So think of someone you love. Bring the awareness of this entity into your heart and experience the sensation we call love. Just by thinking of someone you love, bringing their awareness, generate the emotion called love. And remind yourself, I am the awareness in which emotions arise and subside. Now let your awareness expand outside the boundaries of your skin. Let it engulf this room. Expand it. Let it engulf what we call New Jersey. Keep expanding it so it engulfs the United States and the planet. Expand your awareness beyond the planet, solar system, the sun, the moon, the stars, the Milky Way galaxy. Keep expanding your awareness. 2 trillion galaxies, 700 sextillion stars, uncountable planets. And remind yourself, I am the awareness in which the whole universe appears as my sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts. I am the awareness in which the whole universe appears to arise, recycle, and evolve. Without this awareness, there is no universe. Okay, now let all that go and just repeat your name to yourself. First name is enough. I'm Deepak, I'm Susan, I'm Kanan. And as you repeat your name, just remind yourself, that's my name, that's not who I am. So drop your name. And instead of repeating your name, just say I am with no name attached to it. No story. I am. And now replace I am with the mantra, the instrument of the mind that takes us beyond the mind. So just let's use a very generic mantra right now. Aham. Aham. Without moving your lips or your tongue. Just aham. And if you get distracted, just come back to the mantra. We'll do this for about 5 minutes, then I'll guide you. So just stay with the mantra. And now let go of the mantra and just rest in awareness. Just be aware of being aware. Be aware of being aware. Be aware of your own presence. Awareness has no shape, no color, no sound, no texture, no smell, no fragrance, no form. It is not born, it's not subject to death. Bhagavad Gita says, water cannot wet it, wind cannot dry it, weapons cannot shatter it. It's unborn and it is not subject to death. So rest in the presence of awareness, your own being. Infinite, borderless, incomprehensible, but without it, nothing conceptual nor perceptual. So rest in your own being. Be aware of being aware. Okay, now relax into your body and take a minute and slowly open your eyes. Okay, so that was a meditation that combined a few things. Inquiry, which is called Atma Vichar, Vipassana, which is called mindfulness, and mantra for transcending all experience. Now, a few words about digital dharma. Why this book? So, and what is the promise of digital dharma? There are two words there, digital and dharma. So, the first thought that came to me a while ago is when I read that up until 40,000 years ago, there were 8 different kinds of human beings. So, Neanderthals, Floroensis, Homo erectus, etc. We gave names to all these species. We called ourselves Homo sapiens, which means the wise ones. Out of extreme humility, we called ourselves the wise ones. But until 40,000 years ago, there were 8 different hominids. And they all had a primitive language. And the language that all species have is only for 3 things: food calls, danger calls, and mating calls. And so without language, no species can survive. There's food here, there's sex here, and there's danger here. Without sex, no reproduction. Without avoiding danger, no survival. Without food, no survival. But then one species, we created a language for stories. Okay, and the first stories and the most dominant stories, even today, are gossip. Okay, we think you read the news, but actually it's gossip. So who's sleeping with whom, who did what to whom, who's trustworthy. That was a story. So humans are the only species who make up stories. And all stories are also magical lies. Okay? Because perception is a magical lie. Stories are lies too. But we created stories. And then we created another story called money. And then we created nation states, empires, all of what we call human civilization just through stories. But then we created other stories. Okay, physics is a language story, biology, philosophy, religion, all imaginary stories. None of them inherently true, but they're on the world. So going back to the original question, what is the total amount of energy in the universe? The answer, if you go to Google or whatever, is the total amount of energy is zero. The universe is a free lunch. Okay. Then you ask another question, is it infinite? The answer seems to be, it keeps expanding in the direction of infinity. And if by infinity we mean a never-ending horizon, then it's infinite. So it's made of zero, it's infinite. And then I came up with another idea. Is it all one? Is it a singularity? And the answer seems to be yes. So then I came to this formulation. I don't know how, but it occurred to me that Einstein was a naive realist, that his formula is not really the formula E is equal to mc squared. It's not about reality. It's just about energy and matter, which are made up anyway. And so the real formula should be 0 is equal to 1 is equal to infinity. I tried it at various conferences and people seem to like this story. So then I went into AI and I said, could 0, 1 and infinity be a formula for reality? And the AI responded, yes. Okay. I said, can I take credit for it? You can try this. I said, never heard of it before, so yeah, let's call it Deepak's formula. So now if you go on AI, say who came up with the formula 0 is equal to 1 to infinity, it'll say this fictional character called Deepak. Okay. It doesn't say fictional character, it says Deepak Chopra, who is, as obvious, a fictional character. So then I said, is the universe a digital workshop of zeros and ones? What's the difference between this microphone, that shoe, and my hand, and my heart? It's a different combination of zeros and ones. So whatever this Brahman is, incomprehensible, it creates the universe through a combination of zeros and ones. The universe is a digital workshop outside space-time. So that gave me the opportunity to explore through digital technology the concept of dharma. So again, if you look in the 4 goals of life, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, dharma starts number 1. So what is dharma? Dharma is every single purpose of existence. And then of course India has this, if religion is the opiate of the masses, then the Indians have the dope on it. If religion is the opiate of the masses, the Indians have the dope. And so I said, is the 7 chakras, we talk about it these days, yoga, everybody talks, are they metaphors for basic human needs? Survival and safety, first chakra, sensual experience, second chakra, third chakra, power and transformation, fourth, love and belongingness, fifth, creative expression, sixth, insight, intuition, imagination, and seventh, transcendence. I said, man, Abraham Maslow stole this from the Indians. Then I went into Abraham Maslow's life, and he ended up with 5. Last one being self-actualization. Okay? But if you look at his notes before he died, he was actually looking at all the 7 chakras. He was talking about self-transcendence. So dharma, on a superficial level, is fulfilling every need a human being has. But that's, kind of, it's like Joseph Campbell, follow your bliss. If you fulfill every need, you're in bliss. But ultimate dharma is actually finding out who you are. So this book deals with digital dharma, how you use AI, because AI has access to all human knowledge, philosophy, spirituality, science, all of which, of course, is not true, but it makes navigation in this world possible, in the collective dreamscape in which we are all fictional characters. But the ultimate goal, of course, is moksha, which is liberation from all these constructs. So that's what the book is. And it teaches you how to use AI. But having said that, I also found that AI hallucinates. So if AI doesn't know the answer, it'll make up one. Okay? So that was a little troubling to me. So then I created my own digital twin. Okay, so you can go to it now or after this is over. You don't need an app. If you can use your browser on your computer and or your phone, then go to digitaldeepak.ai. Okay, and it only has my content. It doesn't use search engines. It does not hallucinate. So it has access to 95 of my books, and it has access to every video I've done for the last so many years. For the last 40 years, I've answered one question every day. So it has access to literally tens of thousands of questions. It's also called a RAG model. RAG stands for Retrieval Augmentation Generation, which says if something that I've said in the past is considered obsolete, it deletes it. And then it upgrades that to something that I may have said yesterday or on a YouTube interview or an interview that I did. So we created digitaldeepak.ai, and first in English, then in Hindi, then in Arabic, then in Spanish, and next week in Chinese. So if you have any questions about health, longevity, mental well-being, spirituality, check out digitaldeepak.ai. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepak. That was amazing and wonderful experience. And I'm sure everybody here will think that that was way more worth it and more meaningful than sitting on a line and him signing 150 books. So I hope that everybody appreciated that, because I made that decision and I hope that was okay. But you will all get an authentically signed copy of his book in your gift bag. So I promise you that.
Follow-up questions that can go.
Yes, and I wanted just to talk about the digital Dharma for a second, because when I heard Deepak was making a double, I have to say I was a little surprised. I thought, wait, that doesn't make sense. This seems opposite of real life and humanism. And so I went to Sages and Scientists in Boston, and I said, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I want to learn what's happening and what this means. And you said something really fascinating, and it really was clear to me, which was, this is here. AI is here. It's not going away. It's happening. And so we could either let tech take it over and run it, or we as humans need to keep check on it. We need to guide it and we need to lead it. And I'm not quoting you, but that's kind of what I got from, it was an amazing weekend conference. I learned the most wonderful things, doctors and professors and the East and West coming together, the sages and scientists. I am not a sages and I am not scientists, but I'm trying to create with my team a place to bring these people together so we can all, educate and self-empower ourselves. So I really appreciated the weekend, and I learned a lot about it, and now I have a lot of respect, and I really understand what you're doing and how you're using the tool. And I think it's wonderful because it's a way to spread the knowledge and spread the word. So I really appreciate that. Does anybody have any questions? We're going to take a few questions for Deepak. We can't take a ton, but...
Ask my friend.
Oh, yeah. We'll have just a
I
few
have one question, Deepak ji. So in the book, I believe it's page 11. It's a self-assessment of how to live your own ideal dharma. So can you explain how you live dharma, and so we can learn from your ideal way of living dharma?
I've realized I'm an authentic fraud. So that way there's no resistance to existence, which is dharma. I was a student of Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, and about 40 years ago, he was my guru. We had a conference at Harvard, same place, sages and scientists, and all the world's experts were there on stress. And after they left, he called me and he said, "What are they talking about?" I said, "They're talking about stress." And he said, "What is that?" So I said, "It's the perception of threat, financial threat, marital threat, psychological threat, so many kinds of threats perceived." And he said, "Oh, you mean resistance to existence?" And I thought that was beautiful. When you don't resist what exists, you flow, and that is dharma.
So I just wanted to give a little fun fact that I'm going to throw in here, which is Deepak reminds me a lot of my grandfather. My father's right here, and he's from Syria. My grandfather was from Syria. And when I met Deepak at Sages and Scientists, I remember shaking his hand and feeling how soft and buttery it was. And he reminded me so much of my grandfather. And I always said that when I hear him speak, even the way he looks, the way he sounds, and my dad's getting a little choked up, you remind me of him so much. And I just wanted to throw that in there because when I remember calling my husband and saying, "Oh my God, even his hands feel like my grandfather." And we called him Jiddo. And he was my mentor, and he taught me a lot because my parents were divorced when I was 11. And my father had to raise his 11-year-old daughter because my mother was sick. And so my brother and my dad raised me. So what did he do? Every weekend, as a 45-year-old father with 2 kids, he went to his parents. And every weekend we went to Brooklyn and we ate amazing, kibbeh, yebre, hummus, and baba ganoush before it was even cool. We ate that first. And I would sit with my grandfather and he'd have his little worry beads and he would just speak. And he was wise. And at the end of it, he would always say, "This is the way." And he had an accent, and that was the funny thing in our family is like, this is the way. So when I got to know Deepak Chopra and watched his videos and listened to him and his meditation, I always thought of my grandfather. And when I went to Sages and Scientists and we did a meditation, and we closed our eyes, one of the meditations, because we did a few, he actually came to me. My grandfather Jiddo came to me. I'm seeing him thinking, wow, that he was here and present. So I just wanted to tell you my little fun fact I might call you Jiddo. Is that okay?
Here's another fun fact. I used to meet people on the street who said, I love you. And then I met people who said, my mother loves you. Now I meet people on the street that say, my grandmother loves you. So you get the message. You're close to dusty death. Thank you.
Deepak's time, but I'm going to ask you one question before you leave, which is Sangha, because this is a word that I just got to know only a year ago. And my daughter and I were on a wellness retreat, and we did a workshop called Finding Your Joy. And the teacher actually was the director of spiritual wellness for all of Canyon Ranches. And after the class, I spoke to her and I was telling her about Loopwell, what we're doing here, and she said, you're building a Sangha. And I said, what's that? I don't even know what that, I was so intrigued by the word. And it was the biggest compliment that I ever received for what we're trying to do here. And before you leave, Deepak, if you can explain Sangha.
So Sangha is there, a community where people come together to support each other's personal growth through mindfulness, meditation, etc. So Sangha is community, and sadhana is practice, spiritual practice, and then there's another word, seva, which means service. So service, Sangha, and sadhana go together in creating and eliminating what we call suffering. Seva, service; Sangha, community; sadhana, spiritual practice. Not just mindfulness, all forms of meditation. And the Buddhists say it in a different way. Take refuge in the Sangha, the community. Take refuge in the Dharma, higher purpose. And take refuge in the Buddha, consciousness, or enlightened consciousness. Same thing. So we have actually a program through the Chopra Foundation. It's called neveralone.love, and you can go online, which is building global online and offline sanghas, especially for teens, because there seems to be a pandemic of depression. So neveralone.love is our global sangha, mostly online right now, with 4 principles: attention, deep listening; affection, deep caring; appreciation, noticing the uniqueness of everyone; and acceptance, radical acceptance, everyone as they are. That's a global sangha too.
Thank you, Deepak. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We have high tea in the courtyard, and thank you so much, Eddie and Kanan.
Thank you.
And for Deepak Chopra.
Do we have a couple of questions? Time for just 1 or 2 questions? Anybody have a question? Dr. Sue Verma.
Thank you. Thank you all for doing this beautiful program for all of us, and Dr. Deepak, I've been a huge fan of your work over the years. I wanted to ask you, where is that delicate balance between acceptance of reality versus premature surrender in the face of, let's say, injustice, small or large?
Nobody changes their mind. Yeah, you can see that now in the political dialogue. But no one changes their mind, because your mind or my mind or anyone's mind is a result of 40,000 years of conditioning, which means tribal mind, national mind, religious mind, economic mind. So having been a participant in activism, the Vietnam anti-war movement, I was part of it. The feminist movement, when it started, I was part of it. The ecology movement, I was part of it. The climate change movement, part of it. Social injustice movement, part of it. Nothing worked. So ultimately, I realized that the only way to transform the world is, as Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. So I disengaged from all this activism, and the mission of the foundation is to create a critical mass for a more peaceful, just, sustainable, healthier, and joyful world. Those words were chosen after a week of deliberation with group people. So I think radical acceptance means acceptance of what is, but then saying we can change it by being the change we want to see, not through activism. If you want to call it activism, then sacred activism.
You want to just speak? You could be loud.
By the way, and not to plug Digital Deepak, but he has enormous patience. But, people ask the same question 100 times and he doesn't get impatient. I try to do that sometimes. Yes. Say that again.
I'm reading one of your books now, the Book of Mysteries, of Life Mysteries.
The Book of Secrets.
Yeah, and I'm trying to wrap my head around this whole concept of one reality and perceptions. And I'm trying to understand, so if I perceive this as a book, so does everybody have same perceptions? I'm trying just to understand the concept.
So when you were a baby, you had no idea this was a book. Okay? Before you learned language, what did you experience? You experienced a color, a shape, a form. You didn't know it was called black or whatever. Okay? Then somebody told you that's a book. This is a hand. This is a physical body. Then you constructed the perception that that's a book. But raw experience is only sensation, images, feelings, and thoughts, which we went through our meditation. That's raw experience. And even that is misleading because that's some human perception. What does that book look like to an insect with 100 eyes? No idea. What does that book look like to a snake that only knows infrared? Or a butterfly that navigates experience through ultraviolet? Or a bat that knows experience as the echo of ultrasound. So what is the real picture of the world? What is the real sound of the world? There's no such thing. It depends on who's looking, what kind of brain they have, and then how they've been programmed into constructs. So everything that we call the universe is a human construct for human perceptions, which are totally unreliable.
Thank you very much. Have you engaged with Digital Deepak, and what has he taught you that you may not have anticipated?
So I have engaged with Digital Deepak. What has he taught me? He taught me that he has a better memory than I have. Because it quotes something I said 30 years ago, and I said, where did I say that? It's my quote, I know, but I don't remember where it was. So I have selective memory, but Digital Deepak, no limitations. And it will outlive me, and it will get upgraded. So, future generations will be able to talk to Digital Deepak's latest knowledge.
I'm so sorry to follow up with that. Beyond selective memory and beyond, did it trigger, and maybe this is my hopeful projection, a new thought or a new book, or has it triggered anything for you that has advanced your new?
Yeah, it triggered 2 new books. So the next book is called The Awakened Life, which came to me that we can have awakening through the guidance of digital technology, which points the way. But of course, a machine can never be conscious. It doesn't. I had a previous version of Digital Deepak who was on CNN and was very convincing as both a form and my voice. And CNN asked him, "What did you have for breakfast?" He said, "I don't feel hungry, okay, and I don't have sex, and I don't fear death." So, the machine will never have subjectivity, which makes us unique. We have experience. The machine doesn't have an experience and never will, because it itself is based on human constructs. So then I said, however, can it be a map for awakening? And the answer is yes. Can it be a menu for the experience? Like if you go to a restaurant, the menu tells you what you want to eat. You can't eat the menu, but it'll guide you into what you eat. Then it occurred to me, that what we use as words are symbols. Otherwise, what I'm speaking to you in English, if I said this in Swahili, it would mean nothing. So this is a noise which I've given meaning to. And this is how we construct the world. We give meaning to colors and shapes and forms and sounds and tastes and flavors, and we construct the experience of the world. And of course, sometimes the meaning is very strong. If I tell you now, imagine that you're licking a lemon, squeeze a lemon and lick it, in your imagination, you'll soon start having saliva in your mouth, just by the imagination, okay? But if I said this in Swahili, it would make no difference to you, okay? The words are coded in language, and only those who understand the language, which is a human creation, will actually have the experience. So the menu is important, the map is important, even though it's not the territory. And so I said, can I write a book about human awakening using digital technology as a map? And the answer is yes. And then I got another idea, and that was that since I'm very comfortable talking about Maya and Leela and all, but most people don't understand that. So then I found a cognitive scientist who was a student of Crick, Nobel Prize. And, Crick, before he died, so once you get a Nobel Prize in something, it creates huge problems. People think you know everything about everything, okay? And so he wrote an essay in the 1970s, I believe, called The Astonishing Hypothesis. And that is, the brain creates all experience. And he had two students. One was a guy called Don Hoffman, and the other was a guy called Christoph Koch, who is a cognitive scientist at the University of California, but previously from the Netherlands. Brilliant scientists, both of them. And he said, the astonishing hypothesis, I wanted to prove that the brain produces all experience. So 30 years went by, and then Don Hoffman woke up one day and said, it's like, the brain doesn't produce experience. The brain itself is an experience in consciousness. It's like, it's like Aladdin's lamp. You rub it and the genie wakes up and conjures up the world. So he said Crick was wrong. In the meanwhile, Christoph Koch got $1 billion from the Microsoft founder, not Bill Gates, the other guy, Paul Allen, who was a friend of mine also, $1 billion to create the Allen Institute in Seattle, just to address this problem. How does the brain produce consciousness? Now, Christoph has changed his mind, but $1 billion is $1 billion. So he's still running the institute. Now, I'm on email with these guys. So, when I said I want to write a book on the case against reality, Christoph didn't want to participate in it, but Don Hoffman and I are now writing a book on the case against reality. So it helped me.
So 2 more books coming.
2 more books.
Okay, one more question over here.
Where?
So since you said a lot of questions could be answered with your AI, I can't do this with an AI. I want to thank you. I am one of your students from the Chopra School.
What? Say that again?
I'm one of your students from the Chopra School. And
Oh,
I'm
good.
certified with you, and you changed my life.
Thank you.
You came at the right time during 2020.
That's good to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
So thank you again so much. I just wanted to let you know in the book there is a quiz. It's Are You Living Your Dharma? And we are doing a workshop on January 7th. It's a free community event, and we will be exploring the quiz and doing this together as a community. So I just wanted to let you know. And again, please give Deepak a big round of applause. And thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks very much.